G'day everyone. Thought I wanted to talk to you about some things I've been thinking about since the a6400 has been announced and whether I would be buying it, etc. Looking at the reviews that have been out there. Admittedly, I haven't got the camera in my hand again, but there's certain things that I know by using the a6300 and the a6500. Now, the interesting thing is I decided on the weekend in a wedding that I did, I was going to use, I did use my A9 and the A7 III, but I decided to use the a6300 on the day to see how it went with video. It was fine, and the results are quite nice that I've got out of there. It doesn't match what I've got from my A9, but or the A7 III if you're talking about total video quality, particularly in 1080p. I've noticed that the video quality of the a6300 is a little bit soft compared to using the A9 or the A7 III, which is to be expected. I mean, you're talking about a completely different class of camera. But there's a few things that I wanted to talk to you about that frustrated me because I hadn't really used this much out in the field lately, and it's the same with the a6500 that I've got as well. But there's certain things that I wanted to discuss with you about thinking I might wait. If I was you, I might wait for potentially an a7000 announcement at WWPI. We're hoping that's when the a7000 announcement will be. But let me talk to you about it this way, that I found it incredibly frustrating, the battery life. Now, I've got used to the Z battery or the Z battery on the A9 and the A7 III. That is also available on the A7R III as well. And I was incredibly frustrated with the amount of battery that this thing took for the day. It was ridiculous. I'd forgotten how bad this battery in particular is, and that's one of the main factors that I just adore with using the other cameras. The batteries just don't seem to run out. They last me all day. Going back to that battery for using it for video shooting, particularly on the day, was terrible. And the new battery, or the new camera, has the same battery, and it's probably got the same battery life, or very, very close, that you wouldn't notice any difference. So that's one of the issues that I believe as well you're dealing with going back to that. The other thing that worried me, particularly on the day, was using, obviously, the single card slot, which is a worry if you're doing it particularly on a paid job. So that's also a worry. I'm now used to using the dual card slots, and again, I think that is now a must if you're dealing with shooting anything where you're being paid for. So that's another issue that they haven't addressed. I always check the audio as well. Like, I like to have a quick check plugging the headphones into the socket, into the headphone socket, and giving a quick audio check. Now, the meter on the back of the camera may show that it's reasonably, that it's good, but you don't know if there's interference. You don't know whether the adapter you're using, say for instance, if you're using a lapel mic, you don't know whether that lead is slightly damaged, and I've had that happen to me before, where it was slightly frayed and you were getting crackling and things like that in the audio as well. And the only way you can pick that up, I didn't check that until I got home because I had no way of knowing. The only way you can check that is if you do a live feed using headphones. So that's another issue. I know that I've been asking all the time for the screen to fold up on these cameras, but it's sort of useless in a way because it takes out that microphone adapter point at the top when that's put up to the top up here, and you've got that pointing forward. It takes that out completely if you're dealing with vlogging. The other thing is too, there's no IBIS on this camera. Now, if you're dealing with vlogging particularly, it is really good to have IBIS to smooth things out, and that can make a big difference. So you'd have to move up to the a6500 as well. So there's a lot that I think, well, yes, look, please understand, I'm not slamming this camera in the fact it's $900, which is quite good value if you're dealing with that as a startup camera for that money. But it's still missing so much that I think it might be worthwhile waiting. I'd hate you to do what I did even with the a6300. I bought the a6300, and then the a6500 came out a couple of months later, and then everyone was carrying on and whinging and screaming that I've just bought this camera and I should have waited. Well, what I'm saying to you is that if it was me, and this is what I'm definitely going to do, I'm not going to buy the a6400. I'm definitely going to wait to see what they offer with something like an a7000, if that's what that camera is going to be. I think you'll probably find that they'll change the body, they'll add a larger battery and things like that. Now, whether it has a flip-up screen, we have to wait to see. I've got a feeling that it probably won't, because they've now offered it in the a6400. But I'd love to know your thinking on this. As a camera overall, if you were just getting into the marketplace and that's all you had to, all the money that you could afford, it seems to be like it's a great spec camera in the fact that you're getting great autofocus and things like that, and it still gives you a good result, which my a6300 and the a6500 does. And clearly the autofocus has been improved in that regard, but it's still really hurt by that battery. And I used that on the weekend, and boy, did I feel that battery replacement. It kept running out. I had to take that many more batteries, and I continuously had to keep checking the whole time due to the fact that that battery was going to run out. It's still limited by that one card slot, and you're still limited by not having the headphone jack out. Now, I understand it's a cheaper camera, and this is why I'm saying it might be a good idea to wait to see what they offer us in their next model if you're not really in a rush to jump in. But I'd love to know your thoughts about this, what do you think down below, and I'll see you all soon in the next video. Bye for now, guys.